was able to force a penalty out. The team won because of the penalty, and then in hindsight the player is being punished for the dive, but the game still counts for the other team because they won with the penalty. That would be a little bit awkward, but I think if you make the punishment big enough, that's something that should really work in the long run. It's not an immediate thing. But, well, from football to soccer to Starcraft, I'm going to jump in immediately into our finals here, the Gfinity qualifier. Game number 1 in the best of 5 final is live. We have all the way to the top left here the Gfinity.net qualifier for the G3 in August. Lilbow, the Protoss player for Team XMG. He is facing his third Protoss player in a row now in the quarterfinal. He was meeting his first opponent, Zerg player in a best of 3. Then he was going up against Golden. Took the Korean player down in a best of 3 as well. And now in this best of 5 series, he's going up against Zanster. Starting all the way to the bottom right, we have now the Fnatic player. He just won Zerg versus Pig, the Australian player currently in Europe, doing his best to participate in as many tournaments as he possibly can, doing a great job there. And for now, we have Zanster, of course, trying to qualify for G3 in August, and this is going to be a pretty nice game between the two of them. I feel that Lilbow has a bit of an advantage just because he played so many Zerg versus Protoss in a row now, and he could really just refine his builds a bit more and really just practice for that final here. But Zanster is a strong opponent to face. He had to mix his matchups though. He played a Zerg versus Protoss in the quarterfinals, moved then to the semifinal with the ZVZ, and is now playing a Zerg versus Protoss again. He also didn't get the opportunity to watch what Lilbow was doing in the games that we casted so far. And look at that, we actually have a probe scouting what's going on. The last time that we saw Lilbow going up against Golden on this map, he didn't even bother sending out a probe. Didn't care about that at all. But Zanster is a very, very different player. Golden was going in most of the games for a double hatch before pool, whereas Zanster is going straight into a more defensive build, you could say. He's going into the spawning pool and then transitioning straight into the hatch. A bit more of a traditional build that I think you see more in Europe. If you look at the Korean Zerg players, a lot of them try to get the hatch first out, maybe even double hatch before pool. Most of the Europeans play a little bit more defensive with the spawning pool first and then just trying to get their own economy up. But for now, you have the expansion being built by Lilbow, once again, straight after his first gateway, so he once more just delays the cybernetics go for a few seconds. And one of the things that we're gonna see here by him most likely is just the transition into the Forge. That's something, well, double gateway down here. Forge in the main base, Twilight Council for the +2 attack upgrade and the Blink, and from then on a few, well, if he doesn't go for the gateway push, just a few Immortals with that Observer on the map. But yeah, that's kind of what we saw in most of the games so far, that +1 attack and +2 attack upgrade, really a huge part of his build here. Going for those upgrades early on allows him to just put pressure on the Zerg player, who usually won't have that +2 armor upgrade. Double hatch now being built now with the third base on the way. The natural is already completed, and the overlords getting into position to just find out later on what exactly Lilbow is going to do in his main base. Especially the Techo is of course something that Zanster is going to be curious about. As Zerglings still out there, Zerglings against the Zealots. That Zealot, yeah, that's a moment when the Zealot really was hoping to he could throw his Sideblade. That would be awesome. We need like a unit in the game that has a boomerang weapon, like an Australian warrior. I think Pig probably approves. We need something like Protoss Aborigine that has a Psy boomerang that he can just throw against opponent and that always returns. Would be pretty funny actually to see that unit. Not quite sure if you could really make that sustainable, but still, yeah. Pictures in my head. Sometimes my head is a funny place, guys. You probably found that out already. But yeah, that's stuff that I think about for whatever reason when we're casting one of those games. There comes a double gateway. Forged in the main base should be the next step for him. That's what he was building most of the time so far. We already have a bit of aggression going up against that third base. Can take down a few of the hit points. It's very unlikely that it's going to be able to take it down. Well, on the other hand, he's moving down with another Stalker already. But yeah, the Queens are on the move. And oh, can he take down a Queen? No, the Zerglings don't have the speed upgrade, but at least he could take down a few of the hit points here. 400 hit points in total, but that should heal up in quite some time. He could at least try to pressure that with the gateways that he has, but there's no pylon nowhere. Can't really do that. There's the forge that we talked about earlier. Twilight Council should follow when the +1 attack upgrade is at least halfway done. That's what we saw so far most of the time. And to the bottom right, we have now for Zanster, the Harvester count looking at 38 against 41. Of course, just trying to drone up as much as he can. In the main base, having the extra queens here for the creep spat, also getting those injects into game. Yeah. For getting one of those, at least for a bit there, it's probably not going to hurt him too much, but it's definitely one of the things that you want to eliminate if you can. We have the +1 attack upgrade started, the Mothership Core is on the way, and that usually results in an Overlord dying over here, but this time we do not see an Overlord. The unit's already in position, but this time they're like just, no Overlord to kill. The rest of the games that Lilbow play, they always had the chance to at least take down one of the Overlords once the Mothership Core was out to get to grant the high ground vision. This time that's unfortunately not the case. Lair tech has been started to the bottom right, and we have the Roach Warrior now also in the way that will give Zanster at least the defensive capabilities that he needs at the beginning. Nexus is built all the way to the top of the map, the third base. That's really something that Lilbow has been constantly relying upon. So that third base is just so integrated in his build. Like, I haven't seen him with any type of two base aggression just yet, unless he was really forced to pull it off. There's that Twilight Council for the +2 attack upgrade, so let's see what he's gonna do from here on out. Are we gonna see him with the aggression against the third base, with the gate base that he showed us against his earlier opponent Golden, or is he gonna change his MO a bit and just try to, yep, there it is, try to go for the robotics facility again with the additional immortals and also of course the observers to get the scouting information here. The warp in strong, buying himself a bit of time to get that cannon into the game, but of course he's sacrificing not only one zealot but two in total. Oh, actually one of the zealots is able to survive here. Rest of the army already moving back. With this force he was able to take down the fourth base of Golden in the last game, but Zanster is not reacting to the third that he scouted for Lilbow with the fourth on his own. Instead, what is Zanster doing? He's completing his tech into speed. He's still going straight for the hatch here. We have him with double evolution chamber for the double upgrades. A +2 attack upgrade has already been started for Lilbow though, so he is in or he will be in possession of a +2 attack upgrade before we even have the 1-1 done for Zanster. We have the hatch now, the fourth finally being built. Lilbow could still move in and try to do some damage. He still has that Mothership Core with nearly full energy. Well, not quite true. He's at 140, at 150 now, but he could use that for a recall if he would move in. So we have the rest of the army for Zanster just trying to maybe work at those rocks already. And in terms of like vision, he sees that of course. Can't really do too much about it just yet as the sentry there, but that's a few hit points that he's lacking already. 10 additional spore cores, creep tumors of course, are being built here. This is trying to connect those bases, trying to just spread the creep forward. And with we finally have an observer. In one of the last games that we saw there, Lilbow had a big problem with not having any kind of protection, so he was on his opponent's creep, but he couldn't really force the creep tumors back. This time we have not only Blink, but also additional cannons being built. Quite a lot of cannons here all the way to the top. So he doesn't really care if the rocks are being taken out, as long as those cannons can just welcome the Zerglings and take all of them out. But we have the Spire now started for Zanster. And that could lead us still into the Mutalisk that also we've seen being used by Golden, but not on this map. He used them on Overgrowth, but made sure that on King's Age on Station he was relying a bit more on the ground units there, which he had to since Lilbow was pushing out early on. But this is a great Mutalisk map, and he can really utilize that style. And with all the gas that is already banked up for Zanster, he has an opportunity to do that. Doesn't have the gas at the fourth base yet, didn't take that, but has a lot of units, just a lot of task force. Has a small force to the left, another one to the right, trying to aim for that third. There are a few units ready to welcome that. Zerglings moving in over here is natural, but the cannons are already there, and the rest of the army moving in. Oh, that Immortal! Yeah, he was in a bad spot. Completely out of position there. And the rest of the army is moving in now. Zanster with a lot of aggression here. He really wants to do some damage now. We have those zealots with the +2 attack upgrade. They're just taking those Zerglings apart. But the roaches, of course, they are enough to deal with the problem. The rest of the army to the left side of the map has been taken out by Lilbow. He extended his army quite a bit to take those forces out. But now suddenly there's another force that is trying to claim the third base. But Zanster is losing a lot here. Talking about losing stuff. Resources lost 3,000 against 2,800. And, well, can Lilbow really move in? He's there, yeah, he's using the force fields already. And that Immortal is doing some work. That boy has already 6 kills and he's getting more, 7 and 8. And the rest of Zanster's army is already down, dying. 5,000 resources lost against 4,000. And, well, he lost quite a lot there. If you look at the units lost, that's 126 Zerglings that he just sacrificed and 25 Roaches. He didn't kill any Harvesters, so the Harvester count is 68 against 71. That 4th base is ready. In terms of unit composition, we have 12 Mutalisks making their way now into the natural of Lilbow, so that switch in tech might be exactly what he needs here to push Lilbow back for now. But Lilbow is actually just starting to attack here. He's moving in, trying to use the force field to trap a few of the Zerglings. Not really something that he could accomplish. He only trapped, I think, 1 or 2. Definitely not worth it in this scenario. But now it's just time for more and more Stalkers to be produced. In the main base, there's nothing to really defend against those Mutalisks. He's already pulling the probes back, but he's going for the counter-aggression. Lilbow is starting to take down that 4th base all the way to the bottom here. It's once again going to be a base race scenario. It's just a question of how many cannons are there for Lilbow to really deal with those Mutalisks. Once again, he's forcing them back. The Mutalist count at 14 only. He doesn't really have enough. This base down here is going to fall eventually, especially since Zanster is now losing a lot of his army too. But Lilbow is down to 130 supply overall. Army supply is 65 against 82, but it's 3 base against 3 bases, with the 4th being built for Zanster. The Mutalisks are dancing straight into the natural once again, but with a good blink. Doesn't really have the cooldown there. Could take down more of the Mutalisks. Mutalisks lost so far 6 in total resources, lost 8,000 against 9,500. Army here is, yeah, well, he's catching those, but nice move. An immediate recall saved them for now. That Mothership Core was not sniped in time. Gets it back. Well done here. Zanster with good aggression, claiming the map, trying to just get that 4th base up, having a very, very big army now, and also transitioning straight into the Hydra list. And those Hydras, they will deal a lot of DPS against what we're currently seeing here for Lilbow. I really like the check transitions that we have by Zanster in this particular best of 5 here at the finals of the Gfinity qualifier. But at the same time, Lilbow has a pretty big army supply there, and he's currently looking at the +2 attack upgrade that simply isn't there yet for Zanster. He's only on a 1-1, 99 army supply against 128. And can Lilbow really make that happen with only gateway units? Well, not quite. He has 2 Immortals, but that's not too much. There are way too many Hydralisks already, I feel. The Hydralist numbers, we have 18 of those. The Mutalisks, they just don't stop. They go into the main base again, putting a stop to the Harvesters for now. That's 50 Harvesters against 65, and he can take down the tech as well. Well, decent force fields for now. He's blinking away out of harm's way, but all of those force fields trapping at least a bunch of Zerglings that he can take on. The problem is that in the main base now the pylons are being taken out, and that will also put a stop to the production for Lilbow, at least for now. He just doesn't have the power any longer to keep those units in the loop. And, well, the snipe maybe on the Cybernetics score, that would have also put a stop to the Stalker production. But it really looks like Lilbow is, well, it's all or nothing now for him, I guess. He's moving in once more. We have Mutalisks being taken out by the Stalkers here, but in the main base, there's still nothing to deal with the Mutalisks. We have the army at the bottom, though, is starting to defend against the incoming forces of Zanster. The Zerg play is pushing Lilbow back, at least for now, doing a great job here. And those Hydras, wow, that DPS. I mean, the army of Lilbow is melting away, and it looks like, at least for the time being, Lilbow has found his master in Zanster, who's still at 196 overall supply against 124, getting that +1 range upgrade for his army, and it just doesn't look like Lilbow has a chance here. I mean, he's trying to get his economy up again, but it's just so difficult for him to really pull that off, because he is losing so many units. I mean, look at that. 30 Harvesters have already been killed. A few Stalkers are finally blinking in to take down a couple of Hydras. The Mutalisks, that is. But the rest of the army is already moving in, and Zanster is building up a big bank here as well that he can utilize whenever he wants to. 1,400 resources lost, or actually like 14,000 resources lost against 13,000 in favor of Zanster as well. The Fnatic player is doing a great job here. He has already that 4th base up and running. He claims a 5th all the way to the bottom left, currently building that. A speed upgrade for the Hydralisk is coming in too. And he has Lilbow in a chokehold. Lilbow has a pretty tough time here, especially with the Mutalisks being reinforced. 22 of those could stream into the main base at any time, and he's just making exactly that happen. Going into the main base, he's attacking the third at the same time, taking down the first few gateways there. Mutalisks are now moving in, and well, it looks like he wants to go for the natural. Yes. Well, Blink here not strong enough. He just wants to go for the kill. He goes straight in with the Mutalisk. Maybe not enough to really shield them there. Needs to be careful. He can't throw his army away like that. But he's just doing so much damage at that third already. And in the main base, he can just take down even more of those probes. Lilbow reacts in time to move them back, but I don't think that in the long run he will be able to really make this work. I mean, he's losing too many units already, and he's down to 85 overall supply against 156. And Zanster, he's lacking the gas, but he is still doing a great job here. Resources lost 20,000 for both of them. The difference just is that we have 5 bases for one of these two players and only 3 for the other one, with the Mutalisk still doing the damage. The harvester count currently 32 against 63, 60 against 93 overall, well, army supply that is. Third base is under attack once more, with the Zerglings just streaming in everywhere. The 1-1 upgrade helps him out for now. The Mutalisk in the main base, and it looks like the only thing that Lilbow can really do here is try to just finish it off with the Stalkers and go for the counter-aggression, maybe cripple the economy of Zanster and then win a base race. But like, that's the main, yeah, he's hoping in Mania. I don't think that he can do anything about that just yet. He's trying to sacrifice or to rescue a few of the probes to build, I think, simulators. That's the only thing they can really go there. He doesn't have the resources to get another Nexus, and Zanster is happy at this point to sacrifice these bases. He knows that the only thing that he has to build now are Mutalisks. The Mutalisk numbers are 26 against 33 Stalkers, and as you can see, that's a +1 attack upgrade on the Mutalisk already as well, taking those down. As long as he saves the rest of the Mutalisk, he should be gold there. He should be absolutely fine. There are 10 additional Mutalisks being built, and we're already looking at 29. If he gets 39 Mutalisks, in addition to the ground army that he's still controlling with the 81 Zerglings that are there, the Stalkers just don't stand a chance. And that base race is looking very, very good for Zanster now. Lilbow moving into the main base, taking down the lair here. But if you look at the units that he has, that's 8 probes. That's not enough resources for another Nexus. There's already one hatch being built over here for additional mining, another one hidden to the top of the map. And, well, Zanster is very well aware that the only thing that he has to do now is move in and take down this army. With 120 army supply against 61, that shouldn't even be a problem for him. There's nothing to force field the ramp either. He can just move in whenever he wants to. The Zerglings will be happy to run up that ramp. And, yeah, he goes in immediately. Here come the Mutalisks. This is going to be game number 1 in the best-of-5 series here at the final for Zanster. The GG called by Lilbow, and Zanster taking the lead in the best-of-5 series. Well, good job by Zanster, taking that first game against his opponent, so congratulations. Yeah, Lilbow might have found his master here. He's playing very well against Golden and all of his Zerg opponents today, but Zanster in this particular game really doing a great job. Those tech transitions gave Lilbow quite a lot of trouble, I have to say. I mean, the Hydras in particular, when Lilbow was trying to just rely heavily on the gateway units again, couldn't do anything about it, unfortunately for him. So that was a bit tricky. I don't know what the second map is. I guess I'm going to get my invite in a few seconds. There we go. Aldazim Stronghold. Big map, big map. Wow, that was fast. Jumping into the game and bam, they're starting it. I like it. Aldazim Stronghold is actually, I've seen this map for the first time today. We haven't seen any ZVPs on the map yet. Not sure if one of the, if actually Zanster played one of the games here. But I can tell you that Lilbow certainly didn't, at least not in the games that we observed. Alright, so let's go for it right away. Oh, there. Game number 2 in the best of 5 final. We have our Zerg versus Protoss on Aldazim's Stronghold this time. The lead for the Zerg player as Lilbow spawns to the bottom left. The Protoss player on King Sejon Station not able to take out the swarm, take out the trash. To the bottom right of this particular map we now have a Zanster. And actually thinking about it, did we see this map already in today's matches? I do not think we did. And well, for now, Zanster with a 1-0 lead. Can he take down Lilbow in game number 2? I mean, it would actually be really interesting if he would be able to take 2 in a row now and then put Lilbow already at the verge of losing this. Lilbow was relying heavily on gateway units in the last game once again and his blink ability, but this time the tech transitions of Zanster were just exactly what the Zerg player needed to take him out. The one thing that we saw there was especially the Hydralisk doing a lot of damage when Lilbow was trying to go for the counter push, and then the transition into the Mutalisk did a lot for Zanster. He just has a Mutalisk force in the game all the time, pushing in, doing damage at the natural and the main base, taking down pylons, and it was just a constant threat towards the bases of Lilbow that he had to deal with there. Zanster is starting with a pool first, once again, not going for an early hatch here, which she definitely could have done on a map like Aldazim's Stronghold. It's one of those big maps where we see a lot of early bases. That's exactly what Lilbow is currently doing, going straight for the Nexus first here. One of the main reasons is, of course, that the only thing that you have to defend is that one ramp right over here, single file ramp. If you control this, then you have 2 safe bases in the back, and that's exactly what Lilbow is currently hoping for. But Zanster, of course, is throwing down that hatch right after the spawning pool. He doesn't want to waste any time there. And, well, getting the second Overlord to the bottom left. The first Overlord is going to scout the top right, so he's not going to get the early information. But unfortunate for him. But on the other hand, the probe is also going into the wrong direction, so it's going to take quite some time for Lilbow to really find out what's happening in Zanster's base. Might actually never find out, well, at least not for now, if that Queen is blocking the ramp, taking down that additional probe, or if the Zergling is going to spot it early on. So it's going to be 2 base versus 2 base, and just a little bit, but we're most likely going to see the third being built for Zanster quite soon, especially when he has the Overlord in position to scout that Nexus over here, but one drone already making its way down towards that third. We have the Scanapede spotting everything. Scanapede is having a look at that and is like, oh wow, look at that, another base being built. So let's hope that Scanapede is not a traitor and doesn't tell it to Lilbow what's going on there. But yeah, for now Zanster is relying on the same build that we saw him execute in game number 1. The probe, I think, was spotted. And of course not only the probe, but also the base to the bottom left that we have for the XFG player. Lilbow now down, I think for the first time in the last few games that we saw. Every single time he was up against the Zerg player today, he took the early lead after the first game. But let's see what exactly he can do here. I'm especially interested to see if he's going to rely on the same style that we saw already earlier, which would be Forge into Expand into Twilight Council. And what is Zanster going to do? Is he relying on the Mutalisk again? It's a map where you can definitely do that, especially when your opponent has 3 bases. It's super easy to just bounce between the main base, the natural, and then of course also the third base that we would see right there. Zergling's just trying to find out when the probe is moving out so that he can just deal with it early on. But he doesn't know about this one, so he doesn't know that there's already one probe on the map, and that probe could be used at any time in the game to just drop in another pylon and then use it as a warp in point. We have right now, ooh, wow. Yeah, well, this is not going to be a long game. This is going to be, wow, that's 7 gates already. 7 gates. 7 gates for Lilbow in total, not scouted. He sees the Stalker, didn't see the pylon being built by the probe, and Zanster has no clue. Zanster has absolutely no idea what's happening there. Massive amount of gateways for Lilbow against Zanster, and if the spider sensors of the Fanatic player are tingling, he might be able to somehow fend this off, but he has no vision on it. Now he goes in with the Overlord. He sees 2 of the gates, he sees a third, and he knows that the shit is gonna hit the fan in just a little bit. So he needs units, and he needs them fast. He's realizing what's going on here, and he's like looking at this, probably thinking, oh my god, I need units, and I need them fast. He doesn't have speed either. There's no speed upgrade for him, no Roach Warren, it's Lings, and only Zerglings. And here comes Lilbow Lilbow with 26 army supply moving in. The pylon at the front. The third base. Well, can he save that? We have the queens moving back. That's a lot of queens. 5 queens in total. But that's also a lot of units for Lilbow here. The queens trying to get into a good position in the mineral patches to just limit the area where the zealots can attack. He's getting more units already. He might be able to pull this off. Zanster might be able to hold for now. He's getting the speed upgrade. He's getting more queens, and he's also getting a lot of additional zerglings. But the zerglings already been taken out there, and Zanster is dropping an overall supply. The queens are being eliminated one by one with a back towards the wall there. 1 down, 2 down, and this just doesn't look pretty, like not at all. The zerglings are being eliminated there too. Ooh, quite some legs that we saw there, but apparently that's over for now. More zerglings being killed, but the overlords are also going to be eliminated now, and the queen count is already down to 2. The GG called. Lilbow blindsiding Zanster with this attack, and this is the 1-1 in the series. Lilbow taking game number 2 against his opponent and tying things up. Well done by Lilbow. So Lilbow with a second win, and we're going into game number 3. So that was well done. That was well done. Zanster just had no idea. He didn't see that early on. Couldn't do anything against it. So well played here by the Protoss player. And yeah, he likes his gateway units, doesn't he? He used that a lot against Golden too. Not quite this build, but still. So let's see what game number 3, or map number 3 is going to be. Map number 3. Let's see, can I jump in already? No, not quite. Then the lobby. Overgrowth. Overgrowth, the map where we saw Lilbow execute the same strategy that he kitted on King Station Station earlier. So could be the same thing. Alright, GG, there we go. Okay, game about to be started, and game number 3. It is the best of 5. I sorry guys if I repeat myself there a bit, but like the final is the best of 5, and so far I mean you can see that already down there. But yeah, we had best of 3 so far the entire day, and just in case there's some confusion about the mode of this particular match, making sure that people know what's going on. Game number 3 in the best of 5 series, here at the final of the Gfinity qualifier for G3. Down to the bottom left of Overgrowth, we have our Protoss player. It is Lilbow for Team XMG. He lost the first game, but he won the second one. So the series is tied with a 1-1, and all the way to the top right we have his opponent. This is Zanster for Team Fnatic. 2 really strong players that are facing each other here, and quite interesting games that we've seen so far. A lot of tech switches, and Mutilis Cuirass in game number 1 successfully brought Zanster the lead, and then Lilbow in the next game was going for massive gateway aggression and completely blindsiding his opponent there. So yeah, this is going to be an interesting one. This is one sorry, this is one of the maps that we've seen already once when Lilbow was playing against Golden, and what he used there was the same style of build that he executed earlier in this particular series on the King's Station Station, where he goes into the Forge, into the third base, claiming the +2 attack upgrade with the Twilight Council behind it, and then going with the third base either for the gateway aggression, or we've seen him with transitions into robotics. and trying to make that work. But, well, for now, Lilbow, he's facing a tough opponent here, let's just put it like that. He's scouting at least. This is something that he hasn't done in most of the series that we casted so far. Apparently, he just relied on his knowledge about the style that Golden is usually using in this particular matchup. For now, he really wants to know what's going on, though, and Zanster is once more heading straight into the pool first, into Hedge. So the same style that he has been executing in both of the games. He doesn't really change his MO up there. It's just the build that he seems to be very comfortable with. Maybe later down the road he's going to try and throw Lilbow a bit of a curveball there, but for now he's just like playing this super normal. We have actually another drone already down on the low ground that first of all can of course help out against that probe, and that's exactly what happens there. But he will also try to claim that third base early on once again. But for now, Lilbow, just with the scouting information, his own Nexus being built before the Cybernetics core, of course, a second gas taken before that as well, and only with one gateway so far. Not building any Zealots just yet. Something that he could do in just a few seconds if he really wanted to, but the Cybernetics core, of course, takes priority here. Zergling still making sure that there is nothing behind that mineral line. Really important. If your opponent starts things off with an early forge, then there could also be all sorts of shenanigans. Mainly, of course, cannons. That's the one thing that you're really worried about. In the main base, the Overlord is taking a quick peek. The Cybernetics core timing also known to him. The Zergling still waiting and trying to find out if there's another probe on the map, but the third base has already been taken, so this is something that Zanster has been showing us in the last few games, trying to get that early on, and then of course get a good economy against Lilbow here. It's a bit unfortunate that only one of those two will be able to qualify for the tournament. It would be great if we could see both there, but I'm super curious to see who exactly is going to make it. We've been following Lilbow most of the day, because his matchups seem to be the most interesting ones. But at the same time, Zanster not only taking down Kick, but also Kung Fu Panda, the German player, is definitely someone who has a lot of potential and a lot of skill, but in the end he was defeated by Zanster. Zanster proves also not only in Nation Cup matches, but also during the Ace of Kingsbury Cup, that he is able to win the important games. The games where a lot of people feel pressure and there's a lot on the line. Double gateway now, once again to just wall things off completely. Overlords over here, 1 and 2. Actually 2 Overlords right away, so that he can definitely get at least one of them in for the scouting information later. Extra Queens, of course, also being built. Gas is taken at the natural. What exactly are we going to see from Zanster? He had the Spire in the first game. The second game, the third base was attacked too fast for him to really go into any kinds of tech. For Lilbow, it looks like we're going to see very much the same. I would be surprised if we don't see a forge in just a few seconds that he can then use to get the +1 attack upgrade, go into the third base, and also then, of course, take his +2 attack. There it is. Forge has been started. For Zanster, we have a much faster Roach one this time. Apparently he learned his lesson. Both of the times we saw Lilbow at least trying to be a bit aggressive with gateway units and throw something against the potential fourth, against the third base. This time Zanster says like, alright, it's fine. I'm gonna go for the Roach one here. And that will probably help him a lot if Lilbow really tries to go for that start again, which I highly doubt with what we see currently in the base. That Forge alone already indicated that he wants to play it a bit slower and just hit harder with his third later. And that third base is usually what we see him get very soon now. +1 attack upgrade should of course be started first, and there it is. But now already moving out, and we are going to see a third base very soon. At least he's going to try and get it. And that's something that Zanster will see with a Zergling right over here. So after the third base has been started, we should see the Twilight Council coming in for him for the +2 attack upgrade. That's kind of the style that Lilbow goes for most of the time, and then from this position he is trying, like, he tried to be a bit more flexible with what exactly he does, but he's trying to adjust to his opponent. Speed upgrade has been started for Zanster before the tech into Lair. Something that Golden has changed. Golden was going into Lair before speed upgrade in one of the games that definitely was a problem for him. So let's see, there's the cannon. He's of course going to get those additional gateways first, but we should see that Twilight Council very soon. Whereas now Lilbow is moving out, and if there would be a fourth base, for example, then it would be very likely that Lilbow could actually force a cancel there. Twilight Council, as already assumed, in the main base has been started. That queen is completely out of position. Yeah, the queen had no business there. the Queen eliminated, and the rest of the army is moving in, but we also have aggression towards that third base, and that's something that no Zerg today has been able to pull off against Lilbow. That has to be a cancel. Or does it? No, actually, he might be able to save that. No, it doesn't really look like it. But we also have aggression all the way at the top against this third base. A lot of force fields already being used here. Drones moving in, but it looks like this base is going to go down. Well, he TP'd in. He used the recall there, but he's going to lose it. He's going to lose it, and he did not take down that third base. So suddenly it's 2 bases against 3, with a 4th being built for Zanster. Very nice move here by the Zerg player for Team Fnatic. Really well done. Resources lost 2,000 against 900. Zanster is going to be completely happy about that trade, because that's a lot of income that he suddenly denied to Lilbow, whereas he himself was able to save his third base over here. Very well done. That recall just happened a bit too late for him to really capitalize on it. And now that 4th base is of course also coming into play. So for Lilbow, this is super annoying, because that's really putting a dent into the flow of his build. He already has that Twilight Council with a blink upgrade on the way, and we have him with a +2 attack too. But yeah, he's losing a bit of momentum here. Overlords in this position are a bit exposed if the Protoss player is pushing in at some point. We've seen that several times that a Zerg player gets a flare block because he uses too many of those, and then can't make the defense work. Don't really think that it's going to become an issue in this particular game, but just noteworthy nonetheless. We have the additional gateways, and of course the third base nearly completed now for Lilbow once more. But that 4th is done for Zanster. And what is going to be his tech choice now? He has still Zerglings and he has the Roaches, but we don't see him with any additional tech. There's no Spire, unless I missed it. No Spire, no Hydra, and there's the Spire now. Builds it. And if he gets the gas at the 4th base, he would have, yeah, he's going to have a very, very good position in regards to gas income, and that will definitely help him. All of the bases have already been detected. The Hallucinated Phoenix is doing a great job with that. We have units over here to the left, units over to the right. So wherever Lilbow moves, he is going to face not only a few Zerg units, but he's also going to expose the rest of his bases to the second force that could move in. And if he gives Zanster too much time, then Mutalisks are once again going to be a big problem for Lilbow to deal with. That snipe on the third base was just super successful. And now the army is moving out for Lilbow. It's a 72 army supply against 93, but you can already see that this particular part is moving in, or could move in. Snipe that additional zealot, maybe even go through one of the pylons, and then if the force field is not there in time, he could just stream into the main base. +3 is on the way, but that Spire is nearly done too. Gas now taken at the 4th. Well, he's about to take it. Yep, there we go. Protoss player moves in. And the force kill is there. The Zerg immediately going for the counter-aggression. Taking down the pylon here too, and Lilbow finds himself in a situation where he has to think about what he's going to do now. The Zealots, oh actually he's trying to escape. Wow, he actually goes in and starts to take these units while the rest is attacking that third base. The probes are immediately being pulled to the right side of the map, but Zanster is happy to trade here, at least for now. He has 2,000 minerals and 1,500 gas. He can go straight into the Mutalisks if he wants to, but he goes into a few additional Roaches first, wants to save his bases, but Lilbow is starting to push in, and that 4th base is suddenly very much exposed. There's not a lot he can do about that. A few units down here at the bottom are taking down the pylons that Lilbow was trying to scatter across the map. But the Hydra then is what he's getting right now, exposing that force, sacrificing it, and getting another base at the gold, trying to catch the reinforcements off guard, and actually killing a lot of the sentries in particular, taking a few down and moving back. Really well done. I mean, he's utilizing the terrain of the map very, very well, just dancing around that particular point in the center of the map and taking down units to the left and the right. So currently with 6,700 resource loss against 5,400, but that gold base, is he going to get that through? I doubt it a little bit, but it doesn't really look like Zanster, like Lilbow knows about it. No, he doesn't. Another set of units down here trying to just do some damage to the third, but an immediate warp in is helping out. The rest of the army is still occupied against the Zerg's forces to the top. And those Roaches with a speed bonus on creep are doing a lot of damage. The Zerglings are also making sure that even a blink is not going to do too much. Very nice position here for Zanster, doing so much damage against his opponent. Finally the reinforcements coming in. but those trades were great for Zanster. He's building 17 Mutalisks now. As you can see, the resources lost now once again in favor of Lilbow, but still, that was definitely worth it for Zanster here, especially since that 4th base is now about to be completed. Another one is already built right here, and with all the Mutalisks now streaming in, he could just go for the counter-aggression down here at the 3rd base. There's nothing there, no cannons there, no cannons at the natural either. Well, there are 3 of them, but they don't really protect the entirety of that mineral line, and also the main base is exposed. So this army has to recall. He needs to recall it or he's going to lose too much. And there we go, taking down... Oh god, he's going to lose so many other harvests. Yeah, but he moves in. Lilbow moves in. He doesn't really want to play this game. He doesn't want to do that. So he's currently just looking to take on this gold base, and he's going to eliminate it. He wants to go for that 3rd. The Hydras are coming into play once again, and the last time they were really the winning force for him. But for now it just looks like we are going to see we're going to see Zanster actually fight this army. Yes, he is. He's just going straight for those Stalkers, killing them one by one. And the Hydras are moving in to take on Lilbow's army all the way to the top. That's still trying to take on the 3rd base. The Mothership Core is already gone. The drones can still act as a buffer here. All the way to the bottom left, most of the Stalkers have already been eliminated, and he's going for the probes once more. Here come the Hydralisks. He has quite a few of those. Not enough just yet, but 6 at least, and 19 roaches to push back the Stalker force here. The Mutalisks still doing their damage. How many Harvesters did he actually kill? He killed 42 Harvesters against 19. Not really trying to contest the Stalkers any longer, but there's another set that's still waiting for the Mutalisks. But just look at the overall supply here, 86 against 157. Resources lost 15,000 for both of them, but that 4th base is still in the game. It's not saturated just yet. The Queen is moving over to go for the transfuse, I guess, but here come now Roaches, Hydras and Mutalisks. The Stalker numbers are dwindling. He's looking at 23 now, blinking back once again. Oh, and we have quite a problem here. Zanster is pausing the game. Not quite sure if that's actually me that's lagging here or if it's one of the players. We have a pretty interesting freeze yet. Do we have a referee? No? Nope, we don't. He's actually asking... I would be interested in... Okay, it looks like it's going to be Lilbow. Apparently is having quite some trouble with that. Yeah, we don't have any kind of notification that it's us. So that is pretty difficult. Yeah, okay, apparently 30 seconds, and we're gonna check that out. But that's a pretty difficult situation for Lilbow to be in right now. He has all those additional Stalkers, 23 of those, no warp. Well, he has a bit of a warp in there with only Zealots, but we have still 8 Roaches, 6 Hydras, 4 Mutalisks, the 4th base over here. Harvest account 63 against 30. That's a big problem. The income is just so much better now for Zanster. Should be able to make that work. Here's the fight. This is a fight that he can still win. He has a +3 attack upgrade. That's massive, especially since we don't see any upgrades now for the Roaches and the Hydras. So that +3 is going to be absolutely huge here for the next fight. But the reinforcements, that's the problem. That's what he can go there. So, apparently Zanster went to the bathroom or whatever. I don't know what he did. But apparently he's gone. He can actually be happy that Lilbow didn't simply restart the game. Okay, so apparently now he's back. Whatever he was doing, he's done with it. And I guess that game is going to be resumed in a second. Okay, so he's like... There we go. Yeah, these units are most likely going to be taken out in those as well. He's just trying to trade as well as he can. But yeah, the overall supply is of course still heavily in favor of Zanster here, and Lilbow knows that he has to do something with those units now. He has to use that momentum, but Zerglings are streaming in again. There are a few Zealots there, and that should be enough for now. Yeah, nice position here with the Zealots, so doing a good job with that. 11 Hydras are being built, but this base is very low in hit points, so maybe Lilbow after all will be able to pull that off. It's all just a question of whether he can keep that 3rd base over here, and if the units are going to be taken out. Zealots and Stalker, the reinforcements taken out, the pylons as well, the blink forward. But by now we have the Hydras. Do we have enough of them? That's the big question. Hydras are moving in, the Zerglings are there already, the rest is moving into. Lilbow blinking on the high ground, but he doesn't have a sentry for the force field. That would of course be great for him. But yeah, he's losing a lot. He's trying to escape with the Stalkers, but he's pulling through now. The GG call, and Zanster takes the lead again. He wins game number 3. It's a 2-1 now for the Fnatic Zerg player, and Lilbow has to win 2 in a row now if he wants to go to the G3 tournament in August. Alright, a 2-1 at this point for Zanster. Very well played here on Overgrowth. And this means that if he wins another map, then it's going to be all over. One more map is all that he needs to qualify. So let's check that out. Let's check if he can actually do that. So, also want to see if we had additional questions there. I think our chat is still... Yeah, the stream that is on Team Liquid, that is linked on Team Liquid, is unfortunately the wrong one. It's some League of Legends thing. Wasn't it Dota? I thought it was Dota. Yeah, I actually thought it was Dota. I tuned in earlier to check if it's the right stream. Someone told me that there was a problem. Okay, Lilbow is in the game, or at least in the lobby. Yeah, he has to win 2 in a row now. And Frost is the next map. Frost is game number 4. Map number 4. Alright. Talking to Lilbow a little bit. He was actually the one to create the lobby here. Yeah, he said apparently like something with internet connection in the gaming house is annoying. Okay, he says like the connection is actually fine. Sometimes it bugs hard for about 30 seconds, but he's also on Wi-Fi, so that might definitely be an issue. Yeah, I think you should get a cable for that. That would probably solve it. Okay. Okay, so Zanster is ready. Lilbow is the host. Frost the map. Zerg versus Protoss once again. The game, the name of the game. So let's see. By the way, guys, if you're looking for another series to watch, something that I just discovered recently, which I kind of enjoyed, is The Bridge. It's about a serial killer and like 2 detectives. It's pretty nice, actually, like American and Mexican thing. If you are looking for a new series, check out The Bridge. And send me a tweet at Caldo and tell me if you liked it or not. I would be interested to find that out. So, yeah.
Game paused.
Is that you are looking for a new series? I'm always looking for new good stuff that I haven't watched yet, and that crossed my path just recently. Game has been paused, so we're going to jump in as soon as that's done. Apparently, Lilbow needs to message someone. Lilbow has a girl. Lilbow has a girl. It's like, yeah, honey, I'll be there soon. Okay, we have a cross position on this map. We have top left, bottom right. I guess we're going to talk about it in a second. Alright, Lilbow is ready. Zanster apparently not. That happened twice now. Zanster seems to have... Yeah, every single time Lilbow pauses the game for whatever reason. Okay, now we go. I wonder what he does in those. That's 10 seconds that he's gone. Like, what can he do in 10 seconds? Welcome back to the 4th game. It might be the last in this final here, the Gfinity qualifier for G3 in London in August. All the way to the top left, it is Lilbow. Losing 2 games in the best of 5 series. He only took game number 2. If he loses another one, then he's out. We are on Frost and cross position to the bottom right. We have a Zanster for Team Fnatic. Great play by him so far. Very aggressive. Mutalisks are his style. He really loves to punish his opponent, to pressure them a lot and then defend with especially Hydralisks. against gateway compositions. Pretty decent game by him so far. I really like his style that he has shown us. On most of the maps, he started things off with a spawning pool first, and I actually could see him doing that again, even though we are on a 4-player map once more. It just seems to be exactly what he is very comfortable with. And yeah, it would be no surprise for me to see a spawning pool once again, but other players would probably try to just go for a hatch first on this particular map. Be it as it may, for now Lilbow is the one that is pressured quite a bit here, and well, is he going to go for the same style once again here? Will we see him with the early upgrades and then just trying to run it with the Blink Stalkers? Or what exactly is Lilbow's strategy in game number 4 against Zanster? He needs to win it now and he knows it. And if he wants to force out a 5th game, then this is his only chance. If he loses it here, then it is GG and Zanster would go to London for the tournament. Spawning pool built, Overlord's on the way. Base gonna be built in just a second. The drone already on its way down to the natural and dropping that hatch like it's hot. There it is. Bam. And then to the top left we currently see the gateway done. So we should see the expansion. Oh, actually, it's changing things up a little bit. It's not the gateway into Nexus, into Cybernetics Core after the second gas. No, instead he's going into gateway Cybernetics Core. That will allow him to get an earlier warp gate research. Interesting. We might see a bit more aggression by Lilbow. Keep in mind that the one game that he won was on Altazim Stronghold, a 4-player map, where the scouting information for Zanster was too late. Didn't see those extra gateways. Is Lilbow trying to pull something similar up here? Is he just going for the aggression once again, or what exactly is he trying to accomplish with the build that he's currently choosing for this map? We have him with the warp gate research already started. Harvester count is at 21. He's not building any additional harvesters, at least not for now. There's the expansion. Just a bit later this time. He will have the potential to just attack earlier than he did in the last few games. But the third base for Zanster, very, very familiar build if you have watched the last few games. This is exactly how he loves to start into the match. And it worked very well for him in 2 of the games. Overlords are trying to get into position. For now it's time for the Zerglings to shine and to provide some scouting information. That's of course exactly what that Mothership Core is trying to prevent here. Successfully for now. The expansion has not been spotted. Yeah, he only saw the pylon at the front. That of course allows him to at least be like, alright, you probably have an expansion there. Would be very interesting if he didn't, because then we would see a 1 base play, but yeah, that's not the case. It's not Elfie playing here. And Elfie by now changed his style already quite a bit, so yeah. Not really what we should expect there. But Zergling starting to attack the gateway a bit and taking down the shields. That's not gonna work in the end. Where's that Mothership Core? Is he actually sending that in again? No, Mothership Core is going cross-map. But there's that pylon, so as already... Yeah, he's going for 3-gate aggression, as already assumed. With that earlier research for the warp gate, he wants to be aggressive, he wants to pull it out. And there are those additional queens, 2 additional ones being built, so we're looking at 4 queens. We don't see a Roachborn. Doesn't see any of those pylons yet either. So a lot of drones are being built here. Doesn't see the pylons. That could be very successful approach by Lilbow here. How many Zerglings do we have in the game? 3 Zerglings. And if you look at the army supply, this is going to change very, very fast. I mean, as soon as we have those warp gates in there, the second round, he's going to have quite the lead here. It's the queens that Zanster is relying upon now. And with the queens and good micro, he could really make that work for quite some time. The problem is that the creep spread is not all the way down to the 3rd base. And that's very, very annoying for him. He can really start spreading that creep even more aggressively, but he needs units. And he's building 10 Zerglings. His spider senses apparently were tingling here, and he sees what's coming. Oh, shit, sorry. There we go. Mothership Core already relieved of his hit points. And by now the creep is actually nearly spread towards that 3rd, so he can force that back. That looks Zanster actually with a perfect move there. Has the Zealots, the Zerglings just in time, the Queens as well, the position on the high ground, the pressure that Warp Prison pushed that back, and now the position for the Zerg player is great. He's looking at 39 harvesters against 41. He's getting even more now. The Yeah, the +1 attack upgrade for Lilbow is going to come in very, very late if you compare it to what he did in the last few games. We have the third base now working for Zanster and being saturated too. The speed upgrade is also being researched here. So Zanster should be pretty happy with how this game started out for him. I mean, he's still looking at 8 queens in total. That's 8 queens, like what? That's insane. Okay, so with 8, what do you do with 8 queens? 8 queens could actually lead into Aspire and then heavy Mutalisk commitment. It's a lot of minerals that you utilize, but you don't need any gas for that. You are very safe against your opponent's pushes, no matter what he does, even if he tries to push in with an Oracle, if he pushes in with gateway units. You have a lot of transfuse energy that you can use. You also spread your creep very fast across the map. You can use it for counter aggression. We've seen moves with Nidus networks where the queens move through for the anti-air and also for the additional transfuse energy for creep tumors on the ground. You can focus on your drones quite a lot. And with 8 queens, what you also can do is you can throw air units back, and we have triple Stargate being built. And that is really a little about changing his MO completely. He's going for the third base and he wants to go for a Skytos build. And that's where 8 queens are really gonna help you a lot, because you can pressure those air units heavily. And of course 8 queens alone are not gonna save you there. You need a bit more than that, but it's a great start. It's something that you already have in the game, and where you can say like, okay, with good transfusers I should be able to do quite a lot here. Fourth base has been started, and we've seen also spore crawlers being built. One spore crawler at the natural. I think there was another spore crawler over here at the third base. There it is. We don't see any in the main base just yet. +1 attack upgrade for the air units has been started too. It's apparently a Phoenix that he's trying to rely upon. But let's see how exactly that's going to work out for him, because for now we do not see with the lad, well, we do not see a Hydra Den. He's going instead straight into the Spire. That Spire should not be able to do too much in this game. You can of course try to just muscle your way through and go for a composition with Mutalisk and also Corruptors, but it's pretty tricky if you're up against a triple Stargate. So depending on the numbers of Phoenixes, you can really make it work. It depends a lot on your gas income. If you can really just like outproduce your opponent, which might be something that he is able to do here. But what we also saw in most of the games was a Hydra Den to just get that tech switch into the game and counter a ground army, especially the gateway army. If he gets that too, then he has a very, very good combination that he can go for. A few units that are just waiting for another base being built here. The Zergling, of course, spotting everything. Pylon taken out. No scout over here. Has like one Zergling that at least has a quick look at that third base, but that's all there's to it for now. And he's still getting those Phoenixes. That's a lot of Phoenixes already. I mean, we are talking 9 Phoenixes and 3 additional ones being built. We do see that Spire about to be completed. He can go into Mutalisk, but he doesn't really know what exactly is going on yet. And as soon as he does, he needs more Spore Crawlers. This is very, very dangerous what Lilbow is doing here. Zanster could lose everything. He could, for example, lose the entire Overlords here, or at least a lot of those. If that happens, he's going to be heavily supply blocked. If those Phoenixes really claim the map control now, Zanster is going to fall out behind a lot. But on the other hand, if he can somehow defend, then Lilbow is stuck with Phoenixes and might not be able to make anything work with those. So, Phoenixes, how many do we have? We have by now 14 Phoenixes. That's only ground units for now for his opponent. And he's gonna see them. He sees the Phoenixes. He saw the Phoenixes. Yeah, he knows they are there. So that's a huge amount of Phoenixes that he saw there. And he should react, but he doesn't. He did not do anything. He's currently just waiting. The Phoenixes have been spotted. And 17 Corruptors are being built. Holy crap. 17 Corruptors. Go for Brood Lords later. Does he get Spore Crawlers? Yes. A lot of Spore Crawlers, and suddenly now Lilbow is looking at an army supply that might not be able to do anything for him in this game. 7 Spore Crawlers are being built here. Overlords, did he move them back? Yeah. All the Overlords fanned out right over here. 17 Corruptors. Here come the Void Rays now against the Corruptors. Zergling streaming in against the ground army. Another set of units already over there, the third. And yeah, oh wow, he loses 1, he loses 2, maybe even a third, not just yet. But over here, the ground army is being annihilated. Well, he might be able to hold on for a bit longer, but he's losing all the expensive units. Only the Zealots are still there. How many sentries did he actually lose? 7 sentries were taken out in this battle. And Phoenixes are now moving back once again. The Corruptors are there to welcome them. Yeah, that's going to be a pretty difficult battle. The Void Rays are, of course, key. The Void Rays are key here. The Hive Tech has been started for the Greater Spire attack. Here we have them moving in again. One Phoenix down. Could take a second one. Takes a second one. Maybe even a third one. Not just yet, but yeah, he relieves those Phoenixes of the shields very fast. 5 Phoenixes already died. Resources lost 4,200 against 3,800. Corruptors are still moving in at the production tab. We have now those Void Rays, and the Void Rays, they melt Corruptors away. We all know that. There's nothing else in regards to Anti here. So he needs to find those. He needs to find those Void Rays. He needs to do something about them. He sees them now, and he's trying to. Yeah, he's trying to keep them back here. Can't really do anything about it, but well, we suddenly have those Phoenixes just in hot pursuit. Here come the Queens, and with the Queens, this is a completely different battle. So Void Rays and the numbers. 8 Void Rays, 7 Void Rays. He's trying to get them. He's getting 1, he's getting 2, he's getting 3. He's getting nearly all of the Void Rays. 3 are already down. He's focusing down one by one. The Queens are helping out. 10 Queens are still there. Transfuse energy is available, and he's using it as well as he can. Zanster is winning this battle easily. The GG called as Lilbow goes down in flames. Zanster claims the best of 3 match with a 3-1 and qualifies for G3 in August. Congratulations to the Fnatic player. Amazing series here against Lilbow, who took down Golden. Has really shown his skills in the Zerg versus Protoss earlier today, but Zanster just a little bit too strong for him to defeat. Well played by the Zerg player here. Congratulations to Zanster. Yeah, job well done. So, yeah, very congratulations once again to Zanster. Really well played here. So that was a pretty sick game that he had there. The area composition not really not really working out for Lilbow, of course. That was a bit unfortunate for him. 5th game would have been great between the two of them, but we had a 3-1. Was pretty exciting there. Keep in mind, this is only the first qualifier that we had there. We had a few hiccups today with stream links on Team Liquid and other stuff. We're gonna smooth it out for the next time, and then we're gonna be back with another one. So guys, thank you very much for tuning in today. I hope that you enjoyed the show. We'll be back the next time with another qualifier. Keep in mind that you can find that out on the Gfinity page. Gfinity.net is the website. There's also the grid. There will be the registration up for, and the sign up, of course, for the next qualifier too, if you want to participate or if you know someone that wants to. Gfinity.net, that's where you should definitely head over and check it out. And this is it for the day, guys. So thank you very much for tuning in once again. See you next time. Bye bye.